Let's talk about a term that can make even seasoned pros a little nervous, technoeconomic analysis, or TEA. But what if I told you it's one of the most powerful concepts you could ever get a handle on? We're going to break it all down.
Ah, there it is. The question that hits a nerve for so many of us. You've poured countless hours into your research, your design, your brilliant idea, and then someone asks this. This is the one question that can stop a promising project dead in its tracks.
You know, maybe this brings you back to that one class in college you wish you'd paid more attention to. Or hey, maybe this is the exact question you're getting from an investor right now. For anyone who dreams of launching their own thing, this is the hurdle between a great idea and a successful company.
But here's the secret. What if I told you that the core of this big, complicated-sounding discipline is actually something you already get? That the fundamental logic is surprisingly simple and, well, intuitive?
To prove it, let's just forget about labs and chemical plants for a minute. Instead, we're going to talk about something way more delicious, opening a restaurant.
So picture this. You've got some capital ready to go, and you've narrowed it down to 3 different restaurant concepts. Your goal is simple. Make the smartest financial choice. Which one do you pick?
Okay, here are the numbers. We've got 3 options: Japanese, Italian, and Brazilian. Each one has a different startup investment, different yearly revenue, and different annual costs. Now, at first glance, the Brazilian option has the highest revenue, but it's also a pretty high investment. The Italian place is the cheapest to get started. So, how do you decide?
If you're thinking systematically, you're probably looking at a couple of things. 1, how much money do you need right now? And 2, what's the yearly profit, which is just your revenue minus your costs. But the real key is how those 2 things relate. How long is it going to take for your profits to pay back your initial investment?
Let's run the numbers real quick. The Japanese restaurant, it profits $100,000 a year. To pay back $1 million investment, that's going to take 10 years. The Italian spot, less investment, but its profit is smaller, so it also takes 10 years. The Brazilian restaurant, though, that one looks a little different. And there it is, our answer. With an annual profit of $250,000, the Brazilian restaurant pays back its $900,000 investment in just 3.6 years. I mean, compared to 10 years for the others, it's the clear financial winner. It gets your capital back in your pocket the fastest.
And just like that, you've intuitively used one of the most fundamental metrics in all of finance, payback time. It's simply the time an investment takes to pay for itself. See? I told you it was intuitive.
Okay, I can already hear you thinking, that's great, but I'm an engineer, not a restaurateur. Fair enough. Let's see how this exact same logic scales up from a simple plate of food to a massive industrial plant.
The parallel is surprisingly direct. A restaurant kitchen is a plant's equipment. Ingredients are your raw materials. A sold dish is a final product. The scale and the vocabulary change, but the core economic principles, they are exactly the same.
And this really gets to the heart of it. An engineer's job isn't just to make something work technically. It's to find the technical solution that is also the best investment, the one that minimizes that all-important payback time. Your technical decisions are always tied to economic outcomes.
So, now that we get the what and the why, how do you actually do a technoeconomic analysis? Well, it follows a pretty clear, logical framework.
It all starts with the engineering foundation. You build your diagrams and run your mass and energy balances to figure out what's physically possible. Step 2 is translating that into money, estimating costs and revenues. Third, you model the cash flow to see how that money moves over time. And finally, you boil it all down to key indicators, like the payback time we just calculated, to make the final call.
So the bottom line is that this framework is a bridge. It takes a purely technical concept and translates it into the language of business, giving management the hard numbers they need to decide, do we invest millions or do we shelve the project?
But there's one last piece of the puzzle we need to talk about, and it's the part that often keeps engineers up at night: the messy reality of uncertainty.
Let's be honest. Engineers love precision. We love exact numbers. But a TEA is built on estimates and assumptions. It is filled with imprecise data. And yet, billion-dollar decisions are made based on these analyses every single day.
This is where the advanced package comes in. We have to ask the what-if questions. What if our yield isn't as high as we hoped? What if raw material prices skyrocket? This is where tools like sensitivity and risk analysis come into play, allowing us to stress test just how robust our project is against these uncertainties.
And that's the final takeaway, really. Technoeconomic analysis isn't a crystal ball. It's not about finding the one perfect, certain answer. It is a tool for navigating uncertainty and making the smartest, most informed decision you possibly can with the data you have at the time.
So the next time you look at a new process, a new technology, or a new business idea, you're going to see it differently. You won't just be seeing the science or the engineering. You'll be thinking like an investor. And your first question just might be, so what's the payback time?